All right, guys. Chapter 2, we begin today. Just picked up a fresh piece of paper, because I'm going to get the outline of the chapter and I'm going to start proposing questions as I scan this beginning chapter. This is pretty dirty, down and dirty from chapter 1, but hey man, there were questions, we answered them. We're gonna go set this someplace real special, so that by the end of the book I have it all organized. All right, it's gonna go right here on top of my printer, right where my operational research Wikipedia was. Okay, that's right there. Chapter 2. Oh. Where's my pen? Yeah, this is the deepest dive. We just spent 16 episodes. The deepest dive of Make It Stick on the internet. This is the second chapter, and this is episode 17. And these are about 20-minute videos. So, 17, dude. Where's the time gone? Holy cow. I started this almost 3 weeks ago. Dude, the time goes by so fast, man. Why does the time go by so fast? I don't know. Anyway. To learn, retrieve, chapter 2. So, just a little preface to what I think this chapter is going to be about. I think it's going to be about retrieval practice, which is the foundation, the most reliable method for learning declarative knowledge. That is knowledge that's like conceptual, word-based, or just word-based in general, or everything. That's the difficult part, is I don't know. Well, there's a good question. Here. What is retrieval practice? What is retrieval practice? Is retrieval practice best for declarative learning or non-declarative as well? Okay, little intro chapter about a neurosurgeon. Just as the intro to the last chapter is about a pilot, Mike Brown. This looks like Mr. Ebersold. Mike Ebersold. Reflection is a form of practice. So here's the chapter 2 outline. So chapter 2 is to learn, retrieve. All right. So the first section within that is reflection as a form of practice. Okay. The testing effect is the second subsection, or second section, the testing effect. Studying the testing effect. In the lab. Wow, I've got a lot of notes in this book. exploring nuances. That was a long section. Do. Yep, there it is. I knew there was something in between. Studying the testing effect in the wild. Exploring nuances, and then I think it's the takeaway. The takeaway. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds. 6 sections in chapter 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so six sections within chapter 2 to learn retrieve. We got what are the sections? I know there's exploring the testing effects, number 2, the testing effect, then the testing effect, exploring the testing effect in the lab, exploring the testing effect in the wild, exploring nuances, the takeaway. What was the first section? Reflection as a form of practice. Okay. Yep, got them all. Another question, what is the testing effect then? Let's try to answer these just off the dome. So the retrieval, what is retrieval practice? Retrieval practice is like a learning technique in which you draw things from your own brain, your own knowledge, rather than consuming information. You're pulling information out of your brain, or attempting to at least. And so it's very broad. It includes testing, active recall, thinking, reflecting, talking, creating. I think these are all retrieval practices. Is retrieval practice best for declarative learning or non-declarative as well? I think both, probably, if I had to guess. But more so, it's been studied in declarative knowledge. Motor skills and skill learning is potentially a little different. But maybe not, but maybe somewhat. That's the difficult part. Testing effect, I think, is just like, a testing effect is like students and people just in general learn from being tested very well. Like testing leads to deep learning, potentially. All right, that's it for a little scan. I'm gonna go ahead and create an Anki card in this chapter's outline, just so I have the structure downloaded. So Anki, oh, we didn't even check Anki flashcards. Surely we've got some. Yeah, we've got 2. Here we go. What is Make It Stick about in a few words? Evidence-based learning, or the science of learning, modern science of learning. What are the 8 chapters? Learning is misunderstood. To learn, retrieve. Mix up your practice. Embrace difficulties. Avoid illusions of knowing. Get beyond learning styles. Embrace difficulties. No, not embrace. I already said that. I said, okay. I already know them all. We're going to try it one more time, though. Learning is misunderstood. To learn, retrieve. Mix up your practice. Embrace difficulties. Avoid illusions of knowing. Get beyond learning styles. Increase your abilities. Make it stick. Learning is misunderstood. Avoid illusions of knowing. Get beyond learning styles. Increase your abilities. Boom. Next time I'll see that is in 15 days. What is the central argument for Make It Stick? Learning is an acquired skill. And the most effective learning techniques, according to science, are often counterintuitive. Oops, when will I see that next? 13 days. All right. Now we're going to create a new deck. Chapter 2, to learn, retrieve. All right, I'm going to say, what are the 6 sections of to learn, of chapter 2, to learn, retrieve? So we got reflection is a form of practice. 2, the testing effect. 3, studying the testing effect in the lab. Studying the testing effect in the wild. Exploring nuances, and then the takeaway. And I just got an idea. Well, how about we discard that? Okay. There we go. How about we just ask ChatGPT, what are the highest leverage Anki flashcards for Make It Stick Chapter 1? Let's just see, and I'm just interested in seeing what it has to say. Surely we were in here somewhere. Recall questions for attention. Is this it? Yep. What would be the highest leverage Anki flashcards for Chapter 1 of Make It Stick? Chapter 1, learning is misunderstood. Anki flashcard for Chapter 1 learning is misunderstood. What would be the highest leverage Anki flashcards for Chapter 1 learning is misunderstood? Like minimum viable product. How many would there be? Excellent prompt. Thank you. This is Make It Stick, thinking in action, compress, extract, and focus on retrievable core structure. Here's your minimum viable deck for Chapter 1, learning is misunderstood. These cards target core concepts, metacognitive corrections, and high transfer insights. I'm going to call this Chapter 1, learning. Make It Stick. Chapter 1, learning is misunderstood. I'm just putting that into, that's the name of my chat for this log. What is the most common misconception about learning effectiveness? Really? What is the most common misconception about learning effectiveness? Yeah, that's not a fact. Yeah, that's not a fact. That easy, fluent learning feels effective, but it often isn't. Why is rereading a poor long-term learning strategy? It promotes familiarity, not retrieval. Creates illusions of knowing. What is the illusion of knowing? The mistaken belief that familiarity equals mastery due to fluency. What makes a learning strategy desirably difficult? It's effortful, slows down learning, but improves long-term retention. What makes a learning strategy desirably difficult? It's effortful, slows down learning. Why is retrieval practice superior to review? It strengthens memory traces, improves metacognitive accuracy. Yeah. Okay. What is metacognition in the context of learning? Awareness and assessment of one's own knowledge and understanding. Okay. Yeah. How does passive review impair metacognition? It makes learners overconfident due to perceived fluency. What's one high yield alternative to highlight self-quizzing? Highlighting, oh. Retrieval practice. Why do effective strategies often feel worse? They're more effortful and feel slower but build stronger memories. What's a simple test to see if you're learning effectively? Can you retrieve it from memory without cues? Quite interesting cards. Those are not what I would have expected. So let me ask the same prompt, copy paste into a new log, and see if it gives me the same answers or if that's because of my answers in that log. What is a common myth about learning that chapter 1 refutes, and what is the actual truth? Learning is best when it's easy and fluent. When it feels easy and feels fluent. Truth, learning that feels effortful is more durable and effective. Fluency illusion. Why is fluency a poor indicator of actual learning? Now it's got main points. Fluency illusion. Because fluency, ease of recall or processing, gives a false sense of mastery without ensuring retention or transfer. Testing versus rereading. Effort and learning. Learning styles myth. Metacognition, miscalibration, definition squeeze. What's the main point of chapter 1? People often misunderstand learning. Durable learning requires effort, struggle, and retrieval, not passive review. Well, I think that one actually is worth keeping. In one sentence, what's the main point of chapter 1? I think that sums it up very well. I might actually make a lot of these. Let's just see what I want to keep. Chapter 1, add. In one sentence, what's the main point of chapter 1? People often misunderstand learning. Durable learning requires effort, struggle, and retrieval, not passive review. I really like that. I really like that one. Add. How do students misjudge their own learning and what causes it? Poor study strategies. They overestimate learning from fluency and underuse strategies that, like testing, that improve true understanding. Metacognition, miscalibration. How do students misjudge their own learning? They use poor techniques. What causes poor learning techniques? How do students they think they're better, know more than they do from fluency? There's no evidence that matching teaching to learning styles improves learning outcomes. How does mental effort relate to durable learning? According to the authors, the more effortful the retrieval, the stronger the learning. Struggle is a sign of real learning. Really interesting. I like that one. Struggle. This makes you want to all right, let me go back in here and edit one of these cards. Oops, because I didn't explicitly. Chapter 1, learning is misunderstood. All right, let's add another one. I like this one. How does mental effort relates to durable learning according to the authors. That's so interesting. Struggle is a sign of real learning. That's so interesting. What learning strategy is often mistaken as effective but isn't? What works better? Rereading, passive rereading, retrieval. Yeah, that could be a lot that are mistaken for effective. Interesting. I would love to see a graph. I'm going to add this one as well. What is a common myth about learning that chapter 1 refutes? What is the actual truth? Myth, learning is best when it's easy and feels fluent. The truth is learning that feels effortful is more durable and effective. I wonder if there's a direct... Is there a direct relationship between effort and learning? There's not a direct linear relationship between effort and learning. Key nuance. Effort can indicate deeper processing and more durable learning, but only if the effort is directed towards effective strategies. Struggling through inefficient or irrelevant tasks doesn't guarantee learning. But bottom line, effortful retrieval improves learning. Effort alone does not. Really? Really? Are you certain? Surely that's not true. They said in the book that blurry text leads to greater retention than normal text just for reading because it's more effortful. I'm going to write that. Is there a direct relationship between effort and learning, resulting learning? Apparently only when it leads to deeper cognitive processing. I don't know why it wouldn't, I'm sure. All right, we got 20 seconds left. Yeah, let's try to do one flonky card then. What is a common myth about learning that chapter 1 refutes, and what is the actual truth? Common myth about learning that chapter 1 refutes is that learning that feels easy, and the common myth about learning that chapter 1 refutes is that learning that feels easy and fluent is more effective. The actual reality, the truth is that leads to less effective learning, and that more effortful learning leads to greater, deeper learning and longer lasting memory. Learning is best when it's easy and feels fluent. Learning feels effortful is more durable and effective. Man, maybe that's the whole basis of spaced repetitions and interleaved practice. And retrieval. Yeah, I think we got that. That's good. All right, that's it for today. Was not expecting to do that, but hey, we're going slow anyway. Might as well, when ideas come up, try new things. Have ChatGPT create some Anki cards for a chapter. I've never done that before. Tomorrow, though, we'll get started with Anki, and then we will jump into the intro to chapter 2. So, good start, good preview of chapter 2, good wrap up of chapter 1. I'll talk to you guys later.